Hi, it's Sarah Jane here from Natural Heating, and I've got a new stove to run today. Now, some of you may have been following and seen that I've been on a bit of a road trip the last couple of weeks around some of the stove manufacturers, and I've picked out some new ones to bring back and try and see how they get on. Now, this stove I've run before. I ran it pre-Eco 2022, so stove technology has changed since then. And it was a good little stove back then, and I've always liked it, but it wasn't that popular in the shop. I have no idea why. I really don't have any idea why, because for its time, it was a good stove. But they've made some changes to it since Eco 2022. And when I saw the amendments that's actually physically happened to the stove, I thought, you know what? That's one that I really fancy having a go at, because it could, if it runs nicely, have a really nice place in my shop. And this is a Mendip Ashcott. It's a nice little stove, which is about 4.5 kilowatt nominal, 4 to 7 kilowatt heat output to the room. It's solid. It is a heavy little unit. It's really nicely put together, and I've been quite impressed with what I've seen so far. So let you have a look. Right, so it's really nice and compact little unit, and it is 575 millimeters high by 424 wide and 370 deep. It's a convection model, sort of half convection model, I guess. The sides have to be 400 away from combustibles, but only 150 on the back. So there's a double heat shield on here. You see if I lift the top off, it's a sort of convection top. The body's separate from the top of the unit. The sides are not convection, the sides are solid. There's a double heat shield on there. And there is a direct air socket out the back. Now, one of the first things that I thought with this direct air socket on the back is, for those that just don't think or know any better, it could be problematic, because if you fit this direct air too close to the wall behind, it's not going to get airflow. Even if you don't need air from outside, you still need a couple inch gap behind the back of the stove off the wall in a fireplace opening chamber, okay? So if you've left a couple of inches, this is at least a couple of inches deep, if you've left a couple of inches from the back of the stove off the wall and not taken this into consideration, you will block the air intake into the appliance. So what I did was, I took off the double heat shield off the back, and I can tell you that you could remove that collar to give you the clearance. If you don't need to fit the direct air, this bit you can take off. So that would give you better airflow from the back of the wall in a chamber rather than freestanding. If you have to put it 150 mil forward of a combustible wall, that's not a problem, because obviously there's about 3 inches of airflow behind the back if you're not fitting direct air. So that bit's not a problem. There are 4 adjustable feet underneath that you can just twiddle down to level and balance it up. And it's quite happy on a 12mm hearth. Doesn't need a construction hearth. So it's a really nice, heavy hinged, solid bodied unit. It's a steel body, but cast iron top, doors, and cast iron legs. And there's a single air control. So all the air control is going to be done via that lever, which is very easy to maneuver. Door handle, still got all the protection coating on it. Take that off and open the door to get inside. And inside we've got a nice sized barred grate. And here's the firebox chamber. So that chamber is plenty big enough to take a couple of 10 to 12 inch logs. It's nice and wide inside. It's a good sized firebox, and it's well protected and very well put together. So we have a nice deep solid ash pan inside, which has got a back on it. There was also a linking plate, so you have top or rear entry on this unit. So that is the plate that will go on the top to fill this gap in here if you've swapped the plate from back to top. So it's just to fill it in and make it nice and smooth. Now, inside the firebox for servicing is dead easy. Good and as easy as you can get, because all you do is take those pins out at the top, I'll show you, and the baffle just drops out. Dead easy. Right, so there you go. I will put the baffle back in. I've still got one pin in there. I won't show you too much. There's the baffle. Pop back in. And the other screw in there. And that's it. Easy, isn't it? Now it's a really good, thick, nicely made body. It's really heavy put together. Take the bar out for the front for where the cold grate is at the back, and it's nicely all insulated and everything in the base, and the parts are well covered, and it's just really nicely done. Really nicely done. That's nice and fixed and solid and robust. Your ash isn't going to come out there. There's good positioning with a barred grate. It's nice and level, and at the back I've created some dust, we just blow that away. That's just from the vermiculite for me to take the panels in and out to show you. But there's one thing that I spotted that really made me want to bring this stove back here, because the build quality and everything is nice, and it really is nicely done. But there's one thing that really made me go, oh, that's nice. There's a lot of my customers would really appreciate that. And it's the door handle. And the door handles on stoves are really important. Now, it's not an air-cooled handle, so I don't know yet if it's going to get hot or not. But this is one finger, and will you watch the pressure on that to open that door handle? It opens beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. Light as a feather. There is nobody will not be able to open. This stove has a little bit of a secret behind that handle, and that is it's magnetic. Now, I'm not really a fan normally of magnetic handles, and the reason being is when you open that door, they've got a tendency to snatch. So you open it and then all of a sudden it kind of jumps back on you, because it's the pressure of the magnet releasing, and then you either get ashy bits blowing back out the door and it's a bit messy, or it's just not that nice to handle. They're just a bit snatchy, and typically you can't leave the door slightly ajar to get the fire going. But these guys have actually thought about it with this Mendip Ashcott, and it's actually rather lovely and very clever. I have to say, it's very clever. They've thought about it. So there's two tools with this fire. There's this one, which is for your ashpan. So that just goes in there and hooks underneath for lifting your ashpan. Fair enough, does its job, not a problem with that. It's just an ashpan tool. And there's this one. Here's this handle mechanism. And yes, you can just pull the whole handle and it opens off the door. But there's a reasonable resistance on that, but not too much. But when you actually lift the handle, there is this, I can get it to focus right there, is this clever little hingey bit. Do you see it? That's coming down to break the seal on the stove so it doesn't do that snatching that I was mentioning to you. The door handle is really very clever. So you know what I'm going to say. Have the door slightly ajar when you light the fire, right? No, they've thought of that too. Because this tool goes on at the back of the door handle. So here you are, here's the mechanism. And you've got a couple of magnets on here. So if I stick my tool on the back, it's leaving my door just cracked, a fraction open for when I light that fire. And when I take the tool off, obviously, it's going to allow it to shut. So it's as safe as you can to leave it for a bit. See, it's not triggering that magnet because it's not quite close enough. But but it's close enough to let the door ajar for opening. Clever, huh? I get it lit and put it through its paces, yeah. Right, I didn't get round to this on Saturday. I just ran out of time. So I thought I better get on with it now because it's Monday. Monday night, that is, and I still haven't got it done. So let's get her started up and just see. So, that beautiful door handle, again, I'm hoping it's going to live up to my expectations. And I've got some small pieces of counter block. Now they're 10 inches long. So as you can see, there is plenty of room in there on the inside. And I've not got much fuel in there at all because I don't want a huge fire. I just want a little fire for tonight. We'll put a bit of bark in there and build our Jenga pile. Start baking the paint on for tonight and I'll have another go tomorrow. Well, let's see what it does because I'm so keen to light this and see what she does. And a fire lighter. And a bit more kindling. There you go, and that's a good size fire. And that is easy going to take a couple of good size 12-inch logs. Yeah, long way round. Now it says on this one that the air vent is fully open when it's to the left. So I've done that. And that's going to start. I'll just put my door opener onto the back of the door. And it's as easy as that. So, that's all there is to it. And there won't be a lot of joy out there tonight because it's warm. It's still warm, but it's been absolutely baking today. It's been cooler inside than it was outside, so I've actually been quite glad to be in here working. But I didn't want a fire on during the day, so we'll have one this evening instead, huh? So I've just had a quick look at the manual. The manual is actually quite promising on this as well. Yes, it's in several different languages, as many as them are, but it does actually show you proper instructions of how to put things together, like how to put it on a pedestal. Although the pedestal option looks a bit funny, I don't know that I like that. It just doesn't do it for me. It's a kind of, make your own mind up. I think this is going to be better suited to in fireplace openings. I'm not a great, I don't know, just looks a wee bit disjointed on a pedestal or a log store, personally I think, but I think it's a smashing looking little stove for a fireplace opening. So there is a full diagram and parts lists that shows you all the bits, all numbered, which is really good. The fact that you can actually look them all up and see all the bits that you potentially need to order in the manual is very unusual, but nice to see. Full breakdown of the door assembly. It's all there. Tells you even all the screw sizes, which is fab. Tells you all about fitting the pedestal or the log store. There's plenty of information in here. You know, how to remove a brick set, how to remove the baffles and fit it all, but I tell you what, it is so easy to do. I don't really think you need much of the instructions, but it's better than most. Quite impressed on that, really am. It also says that you want to have the door partially ajar for about the first 10 minutes till it heats up. This has not been very long at all. That kindling is still on fire and it's catching the logs quite nicely behind me, or starting to, and I can actually feel, I'm a good couple of feet away, I can feel the heat on my shoulders already. I'm starting to get a cold bum on the floor, putting shorts on, but I can actually feel the heat coming through on my shoulders already. Door handle's still cold, body's starting to warm up slightly. The inside is starting to clean off. Nice bright flame, no tarnishing yet on the glass, pulling away nicely, and still got that clip on the door. Definitely left to right, so it's fully open when it's on the left, and it's closed when it's on the right. Most stoves are the other way around, so just watch out for that one, in case of reading the manual. Right, so this is the Ashcott 5. They do a bigger one as well. which is a slimline, really wide one. It's really shallow with catalytic converter. And I'd want to review that separately if I get round to burning with one. I think the firebox on that is quite shallow, but it does have a nice big window. The catalytic converters, though, in units usually make me a bit wary. I'd rather avoid gadgets and gizmos unless I otherwise have to. But this stove here says that it can burn 12-inch logs, no problem, and that 1 kilo of wood should be lasting you an average of 45 minutes. 1 kilo is not very much, that's a bag of sugar. Now, this is getting really nice and warm here, and really quickly. Let me give you a quick look, because I think we can take that magnetic-y thing, the spacer out the door now. So there we go, you can see the firebox is starting to clear down on the inside, and I will just flip that out. So we're still on full here. And we'll give her another couple of minutes to burn off the carbon at the back of that firebox. I don't know if you can see, there's still a bit of dark up there, and on that baffle. But it is getting there, and it's getting there nice and quickly. And it's chucking the heat out well. I'm pleased with it so far, because this is in quite a short chimney system, and it's summer, and it's warm outside, and it's currently about 23 degrees, I think, at this time of night out there. I'll check my weather app in a minute. But in this sort of weather, it's harder to light a stove typically, and it has got a way to rump and start with no hesitation whatsoever. And I have to say, even already, I like this a lot. According to my phone, it says that this stove has been going now for 35 minutes. And you can still see my kindling in the top. And it's lovely and warm, and there's not much fuel in there. I would say there was probably only about half a kilo to start with, because they really were small bits of wood, cut small, and the kindling. And it really is whacking the heat out nicely now. And it's up to temperature, but it's not going too hard, but the air's still open. So there's been no smell off this. The paint hasn't smelled at all. But I would say it's quite nicely up to temperature. So I'm guessing that maybe this is non-smoke paint on this one, which is quite nice if it is, because paint can be a bit stinky sometimes. And I'm not smelling any fumes off this whatsoever on this unit, which is nice. They don't all do that. It doesn't mean anything, because some of the best paints smell, but this one isn't smelling. So look at that, beautifully clean on top. Not a lot of flame left. That is still my kindling from my kindling burn. We've got a nice chunky red ember bed, and as you can see, that glass is lovely and clean, bar the bit where I had a piece of kindling fall on the glass when I first loaded it, and that was my fault. But we'll not worry about that, that'll come off later. So, do it again. Frame it. Opener. No back ash. No smoking. Nice and clean. And I'll pinch a log from under there. Or two. There's a couple of nice little bits in there. And get that catching. But as you can see behind me, it's catching nice and quick. We give it another wee minute or so, and then we turn it down to half air, which is what it says. Not full air down, just halfway should be adequate. And we've got a good going fire in there. The air vent's nice and light. Door handle's currently cold. It doesn't mean it won't get hot, because this fire hasn't been going that long yet. I'll try and update you on that later. I can't see the air control getting hot. You hear it? I'll shut up now. Maybe you'll see. Really nice air control on that. But we don't want to shut it right off. We want about halfway. So I'll bring it back. Just let it catch. It takes about 10 seconds or so to get the air in the firebox. version nicely. And I'm going to take it to about halfway. This is the SC one, so it's DEFRA exempt. It comes as an SE and a non-SE version, which is just whether or not it's been pre-fitted with the DEFRA air stop. You obviously need the DEFRA version if you live in a smokeless zone, but they assured me that whether it's DEFRA or non-DEFRA, you can still fit it on a, calling me, I'm filthy. You can still fit it on a 5-inch flue system because they say you can. So it doesn't matter if it's non-DEFRA, and you can shut it down further. But it does tell you in the manual you shouldn't be burning it overnight. It's not meant for 24/7 burning. But I would say that's a wee bit low in terms of air, and it needs a wee bit more. It's warm out there, but it's burning nicely. Give it a wee bit more. Really good control. You can give them more again. It's plenty responsive enough. Plenty responsive enough. I like it. From what little I've burnt of it, I like it. I do like it a lot. I think it's plenty responsive. Nice size. Easy on the controls. Door handles are lovely. And no spill. Dead easy to crack open. Should be ideal for servicing. Can't fault it. That's a quick one. And I'll need to give it another burn. And hopefully do one in situ once somebody fits one. Would be lovely to do and run it a bit more. But for now, I'm going to leave you here because I've got other things to do.